So we still have our client form open, and what we are going to do is apply a theme and make some additional adjustments to colors and fonts and that type of thing. So we still want to be in layout view, and to change our theme, we need to be in the design ribbon, and we're going to click on themes. And facet is the one they want us to select. And so the only way you can really find these themes is to point and pause. And this is the one they want, so we're going to go ahead and select it. And themes will apply colors, they will apply font styles, and that type of thing. And you can already tell just after applying that theme that it looks quite different than it did before. Now, one thing we are going to adjust is the theme fonts. So we're going to click on the font list arrow, and we're going to choose Gill Sans MT. So you do have to scroll a bit to find this. And as you can see, they are not in alphabetical order. That would be helpful if they were, but it's way down here. So we're going to go ahead and select it. And now we can actually see our date, whereas before, all we saw were those little hashtags, and that it just indicates the control is not big enough to display it. So now we can actually see it. And the other adjustment they want us to make is to theme colors, because they would like the colors to be orange. So we're going to change our colors and select orange. And again, you're going to immediately notice a difference in how the form looks. Now, the next little adjustment we are going to make is to the font size. And we're going to click on basically any of the cells that are controls. And that will allow us to click on this little button here, which is kind of hard to see because it's underneath my client ID cell, but I'm going to click this button so that everything is selected. And that's a little bit easier than shift and click on every single control. And then we're going to adjust the font. Let's go into format. And we're going to change the font to Tahoma. Now you could scroll down. These are in alphabetical order. You can scroll down, but normally I'm not that patient, so I just start keying it in and it will display, and then I can just press enter. And that's a little faster than scrolling and trying to find it in the drop-down list. So we've got Tahoma as our font. And for the size, we are going to change that to 10. So again, you can click on the list and pick 10, or you could simply type 10 in. Next thing they want us to do is to select the first column. Okay, so we only want the first column. So we're going to click on Client ID, and now we do have to shift and click. And you're going to keep your finger on shift while you're clicking until everything in that column is selected. Then you can release the shift key. And they would like us to boldface these because these are, in a sense, the field names. Basically, they're identifying what you're going to be entering over here in your text controls. So we boldface them. And they would like to make them stand out even more by filling them in with a little color. So we're going to select the fill. And actually, we don't want to fill in our font. We want to fill in the control itself. So we're going to select control formatting over here. And then we are going to choose the lovely shade of brown, accent 3, lighter 60%. So where this is located, this would be in the 7th column, which I believe is right here. And we are looking for the 3rd row, which I believe is right here. So we're going to go ahead and select that, and you'll notice that it fills all of our controls in with that color. And now they would like that control area to have an outline around it. So again, because we are affecting the area, we want this control formatting section. And we're going to choose Shape Outline. And this is brown, accent 3, darker 50%. So we're still looking in that same column, but now we are down near the bottom, actually on the bottom row. And we're going to go ahead and select that. And then finally, we are going to right align the text that's in these controls. So now we're going to come over to the font group, and we are going to hit right align. So basically, anytime you want the change to affect your text, you're in the font group. Anytime you want the change to affect the actual control area, which is the box, you're going to come over here to control formatting. So now we're pretty much done with our first column. So if I click away, you can actually get a little better feel for how that looks. Because sometimes when things are highlighted, the colors and things look a little bit off. So for our second column, we are going to select all of the text controls over here as well. So I'm Shift and clicking on all of them. Then I'm going to release my Shift key at the bottom. And so they would also like these to be filled in. And because we want the control itself to be filled in, we're going to be working over in this section. And we want brown, accent 3, lighter 80%. So this is going to be even lighter than what we filled our label controls with. So this is very first one here underneath the dark brown. That's what we want to pick. So quite a bit lighter. And at this point, they've decided they no longer want those grid lines displayed. So they want us to remove them. And let's see, if we go into Arrange, where the grid lines are, we can change it to none. Okay, and that got rid of them there. But I'm pretty sure they wanted them removed everywhere. So let's click on our table control and we'll do that again. Okay, because that looks silly to have grid lines on the first and the last column and not in the middle. So make sure you choose everything and get rid of those grid lines. And we're going to go ahead and save. And our next little task is to put a background image in this form. So what they want us to do is go into Format and select Background Image. And then they want us to actually, we don't obviously want to put the deer in there, so we're going to have to click on Browse. And it should go right to your AL1C5 folder. And they want a mountain in the background. So we're going to select Mountain. And you can either single click and click OK, or you can double click. doesn't really matter. But that should put that on your form behind some of your labels or all of your labels, depending on where it put it. And let's see if we can move that at all. Now they wanted us to take a look in print preview at this. So you can see how that looks. And honestly, that does not look very good. So we're going to close out of here. And they do want us to use the undo command to get rid of that picture, which is a good thing because it looks actually fairly horrible in the background. And we're going to save our changes.